So let's get into it. Okay, so guys, this is the engine of a 2018 Ciaz. So this thing is an inline 4-cylinder, and I'll explain more about it later. So basically, what is an engine? So an engine is like a nuclear power plant, you might say. So what it does is it burns fuel to make energy or mechanical energy to move the car. So if you can see over here, this is the engine and this is your transmission. So what happens is there is a crankshaft in there that spins up, and then it transfers the spinning motion to the transmission via a clutch and a flywheel, and then there's a differential back there. So there are two axle shafts that lead to the wheels that turn the wheels and propel the car forward. So this is the basic function or the principle of an engine. So the next question is how an engine operates. So there are 4 strokes to it. Okay, so the first one is intake. So in that stroke, what happens is the piston, it goes down, basically pulling air into it. Like you can compare it to a syringe probably. Okay, so that's one. Then stroke number 2 is compression, in which the cylinder goes up, compressing the air and fuel mixture. Then stroke number 3 is power. So in this, what happens is you can see over here that this over here, it's a spark plug. So what it does is it provides high voltage electricity which gives an arc to the spark plug. Okay, so as you can see, these are connected to some thick wires because they need high voltage, and not thick wires I might say, because these have a coil on plug, because you can see that there is like a rectangular box. So there is a transformer in each of these rectangular boxes which increases the voltage and amperage, which gives a high voltage arc which starts between the middle electrode and the ground electrode, which creates a small tiny arc which ignites the fuel which is in the combustion chamber, basically combusting. And I do want to mention something, it's not exploding. An explosion is something you can't control, and the combustion is something you can. Okay, so I just wanted to make that small correction if you didn't know. Okay, then you have exhaust, in which the piston comes down after power and it goes up again to just push out all the bad gases out, because it doesn't contain any oxygen, so you can't light it on fire again. So it just dumps it out via these tubes. I'm not going to touch these because they are very hot. So these things, that you can see that the whole thing has gotten oxidized because of the heat. So it's this over here. So it puts out all the exhaust fumes, and it goes out by the tailpipe, which is at the end of the car. So this is how an engine works. So I'll tell you guys more about the types of engines. So now let's come to the types of engines. So number 1 is inline engine. So as you can see, this is an inline engine because it has got 4 cylinders, which can be seen from the outside by those 4 spark plugs over here. If you can see, there is 1 over here, there is 2, 3 and 4. So this is an inline 4-cylinder engine. So the other type is V engines, in which the pistons are arranged in a V. Okay, so there are 2 types of V engines, strangely. So there is one. So the first type is you have a smaller angle in the V engine, and the other one is at 90 degrees. So it's exactly at a right angle. So it's like this, and the other one is like this. So that's another type of engine, and the cylinder numbers can vary between manufacturer to manufacturer. For example, Audi Okay, they make V8s or V6s, whereas if you compare that to Lamborghini, they make V12s and V10s. Okay, so this is the differences between the engines. The other type of engine is the W engine. So you've got the cylinder banks like this. So how it originated was in the 19th century. Actually, sorry, not in the 19th century, in the 20th century. If you might recall, Volkswagen were making cars which had WR engines, which means that they are inline engines, but they have each of their cylinders apart by a few degrees. So it won't be straight like this, like it will be like this at a very small angle. So what this does is this allows you to have more pistons in the engine, and it can fit in a smaller size. For example, Volkswagen made WR6 engines. They are basically inline 6-cylinder engines, but they are arranged in such a way that they take up a smaller space. For example, this engine takes up this much space. So if it was an inline 6, then it would be this big. Just imagine, guys, if it was this big, then how can you fit it under the hood? Because if you fit it in there, then you can't put your transmission. So that's why. So this was about engines, and I'll see you guys next time.